Dirty motherfuckers out here.
What I would assume, incesticide, pesticide.
Don't say incesticide. We gotta.
Whoa! Incesticide.
We gotta.
That sounds crazy.
Yeah, that's a different podcast. That's
a different podcast.
Yeah, what's happening? It's Larry Loudpack bringing you the latest in cannabis news and culture. In here with my man Malik, the manager.
No bread truck, but he worked wonders though.
This is Fuego News. Let's get it. Alaska is removing marijuana possession convictions from their database after 10 years of legislative effort. The removal only covers people who were 21 or older when they committed the offense of possessing an ounce or less of marijuana, and the conviction can't be associated with another crime. About 750 people will have their weed charges cleared on May 1st, but this isn't exactly equivalent to a real expungement. The records will still be available for inspection at courthouses and will be discoverable by criminal background checks, but they won't be as easy to find publicly. That's kind of whack, yo. Like, what even is that? They just making it so you have to try harder to find it, but it's still there.
I don't like how they show us that no matter what, we're still going to have to go to them to make sure that our records are completely cleared, even though stuff is starting to change.
They're still giving you hoops you got to jump through.
Yeah.
Even though it should just be on y'all to just erase things, right?
The government specializes in contracts just in general.
Oh, yeah. They know how to make something complicated. That's bureaucracy to a T.
That's
what bureaucracy is.
Exactly.
It's just
so
knowing how to give people the runaround.
They tend to throw stuff like this into these contracts, thinking that we're not going to understand exactly what they're saying.
The problem with this to me is like, first of all, you can't get that marijuana conviction removed if it was attached to any
Something
other
else.
charge.
Yep.
Any other charge.
Yep.
Like, it doesn't matter what it was.
Doesn't matter what it was.
Like shoplifting.
Domestic violence.
Shoplifting.
Aggravated assault.
I mean, those are horrible examples.
Horrible examples, my bad.
I'm saying something petty, though. Like, you could have done something real petty, like petty theft. And that could be attached to you had weed on you when you got caught for petty theft.
Okay.
And then that means now your weed charge sticks forever. Like, you don't get that.
You can't get that removed.
Yeah, and their removal isn't even a full removal, yo. I mean, they're basically saying, like, yeah, we'll seal it, kind of. It's still available if you come really look in the database. Like, we'll see that you got a weed charge.
Basically, if you want to work for the feds,
it's not going to happen.
It's not happening. Because they basically just told you that we have the information to figure out or know whether or not you did this, and that.
Yeah. We're not deleting it. We're just archiving it. We're just going to archive it.
We're just going to throw it in the back. Nancy Meade, general counsel of the court system, of the Alaskan court system, declined an interview.
For what? Y'all know what it is.
She not having it.
Hey, actions speak louder than words. She said, we already said enough.
The Alaska Department of Law does not keep specific data on the number of Alaskans who have been prosecuted for marijuana-related offenses in recent years.
Well, what happened to that information? Where did we put that? We got a lot of other files. We just threw it up. We didn't keep those ones. Because also with not reporting how many arrests there are, you're also not reporting the demographics of those arrests. Right? It's saying at least 8,500 people would need to be assessed, or cases would need to be assessed.
And as of right now, they've only affected about 8.8% of them.
Yeah, and you're not going to get it taken off your record if you weren't 21, too. So, if you were 18, 19, 20, it almost seems like you should be able to have that taken off your record still. A marijuana processor in Michigan had their license suspended by the Cannabis Regulatory Agency for allegedly using illegal cannabis to manufacture products. The CRA investigated a processing facility used by TAS Asset Holdings for making extracts, moon rocks, and other products after some cartridges failed pesticide testing for synthetic insecticides. The investigators discovered an unlisted warehouse on the licensed property containing flour, distillate, cartridges, and other products that did not have metric tags or appear to be in the system. They also checked surveillance footage, which appeared to have large gaps without footage and inconsistencies between products on camera. The investigation resulted in 23 formal complaints against the company, and the suspension could last until April 17th. They getting light little slaps on the hand out here.
They got hit with 23 violations, though.
In a 2-month suspension, and then you're back rolling.
Oh. Oh.
That's the violations don't mean nothing if there's no penalties for those violations.
TAS Asset Holdings. Who's the owner of this?
One of their things is called Fuego with a W. Fwaygo or something like that.
You're right. Fuego Extracts.
Yeah, I'm sending cease and desist letters.
They wanted to use FUEGO.
Yeah, they probably tried.
Definitely.
These niggas got pesticides in that shit. I ain't worried. They ain't competition.
Explain to the people why these people end up using pesticides.
You don't want to take a loss. Like, some people get to the end of a harvest, they need the money, they got to pay X, Y, and Z bills and like their licensing fee. And if they don't come up with that bread, they're about to lose their license and their business.
How does a pesticide save the...
Well, they're killing the bugs that are eating the plants, or they're using something that can kill mold. There's fungicides and insecticides and pesticides, and there's like 3-in-1s. So there's people that are spraying nasty stuff that will get rid of the mold and get rid of the bugs for sure, but it also leaves residues that you don't want to smoke. Avid is one that gives you Alzheimer's. If it's sprayed on plants too late in flower, it'll stay in the bud after it's dried, and that can give you Alzheimer's from smoking it. So Avid is something that a lot of growers know, like, you do not use Avid. That's fucked up. But there's also people who are just about their bread. And when you're behind closed doors,
corporate people, we know.
Not even just corporate people. There's just dirty motherfuckers out here.
In the black market as well,
There's
too.
just dirty motherfuckers out here.
What I would assume, insecticide, pesticide.
Don't say incesticide. We gotta.
Whoa! Incesticide.
We gotta.
That sounds crazy.
Yeah, that's a different podcast. That's
a different podcast. The products. I would assume, like I said, products being used on the plants that are inside of the people with like the corporate market, because
they're cutting corners because they don't want to take the time to actually have a healthy plant.
So do those products skip certain steps in the process is my question.
No, but they fix problems that come from you skipping steps. So like, at least good growers, if you are spraying something, you're going to spray biological sprays, which are going to fight things with natural ways to get rid of something, as opposed to using a chemical or non-biological, just like toxic spray that's going to get rid of it, but it's also going to cause other problems.
Give the people some recommendations that they can use if stuff goes to shit. Excuse my French.
I really only rock with Dr. Zymes because it's super clean. It's just enzymes, and it's going to clean your plant off. It's fungicide. It's insecticide. You can spray it really late. I really don't like to. I'll only spray it in veg, and then once you're in flower, you really shouldn't be spraying anything on your plant because it should be fully healthy by then. I have used Lost Coast, but Lost Coast is not as clean. That one's gonna actually have some technical chemicals in it, but it is clean. Virginia's recreational cannabis industry is now on hold indefinitely, meaning the projected start date of January 2024 has now been retracted. Nearly 2 years after the state became the first in the South to legalize adult-use cannabis sales, the market is still waiting for licensing legislation to move forward with dispensaries and supply consumers. While multiple bills were proposed by Senate to structure the legislation, the Republican-controlled House of Delegates shot the bills down in January, effectively causing the process to start over again and take much longer. At the same time, Republicans also pushed a proposal to slash almost 70% of the budget for the state's marijuana regulatory agency, slowing things down even further.
Bro, this is Virginia, though. I'm not even really surprised that they put it... How many years? 3 years?
I be forgetting about them.
I be forgetting that's the home of the Republicans, for real.
The real Americans.
They not playing over there, bro.
Virginia's different, man.
Yeah.
They got real conservatives that don't want to see this happening. Not to mention, D.C. is basically in Virginia. Think about the issues Maryland was having.
Some lady let her kid accidentally get into some weed in Virginia, I think. And I think the baby passed away.
Damn.
They're like, we're not trying to approve of it because of the issues that they've had with it.
I think also they're going to take whatever example they can use.
Legally purchased Delta-8 THC gummies are what led to the death of a 4-year-old boy last year. And the boy's mother is charged for freaking murder.
I didn't know that was in Virginia.
That was in Virginia, bro. So they're going to use it as, hey, this is why we shouldn't have it over here.
I mean, but also, whatever happened there, they were going to use that example.
Oh, yeah.
Because they're not having it either way.
No, yeah.
Like,
yeah, period.
If car accident happened, if that was it, they would still cite it. Well, the car accidents went, they're going to do whatever they can. It's going to be tough over there next to a federally controlled area with some of the biggest conservatives in the country.
The company that is involved, they're saying that they're also involved in New York as well. I would assume they use some of the knowledge that they get from up there to try to, I guess, make the transition as smooth as possible.
If we watch how they're moving in those areas, that's really going to be the deciding factor because you're only as strong as your weakest link, right? So those states are really going to decide the fate of this federal stuff.
Trent Wolevec, Chief Strategy Director at Florida-based multi-state operator Jushi Holdings. They operate 5 dispensaries in Virginia. This is what he said. The governor, with his no vote, has voted yes to license cartels and organized crime in the Commonwealth of Virginia. They talking spicy.
You got to remember the geography of where Virginia's at too, because they're not far away from that mafia area either. They're right there. And you don't think these Republicans who are shooting these bills down are going to end up with a big stake in one of these companies once they go legal?
Definitely.
You don't think they low-key got one in their portfolio?
A stock portfolio or some, yeah.
They're anti until they get slid the right little bag. You know what I'm saying? We need to pad this up.
PIMP stands for put it in my pocket.
Sock it to my pocket.
Sock it to my pocket.
You know what I'm saying? The Netherlands plans to launch a pilot program to experiment with legal sales of cannabis by the end of this year. Although the country is associated with cannabis use for its lenient enforcement of soft drugs, the cultivation of cannabis is still illegal, and the coffee shops operate in a gray area, essentially sourcing unregulated products that they can then sell legally. 3 growers have been selected to supply coffee shops during this trial, for a period of up to 6 months. Each coffee shop will be permitted to have a maximum of 500 grams of flower, but they will also be allowed to purchase from their previous illegal suppliers in addition to legal growers. The program, called the Wheat Experiment, meaning weed experiment in English, will involve the municipalities of Tyburg and Breda, and is set to begin in the 4th quarter of the year between October and December. They trying it out.
I like what they're actually doing with it, especially they're putting it inside of the coffee shops. Just 500 grams. Is it 500 grams a day, 500 grams a week? Like,
you can total have 500 grams in your place.
In your place, exactly.
So you can keep refilling that 500. I don't think it's a volume thing. I think you can just have 500 grams at one time.
So if I get down to 250, I can go get another 250.
You can go get another 250. I think
bring it back
that's what it sounds like. That's only the limit for the legal amount
sales,
they can have.
Yeah. And
No, not legal sales. That limit is only for that legal weed that you're getting from those selected growers.
Facts, yeah.
You can get as much as you want from these
your
other black market guys. And they're outright saying that.
They're like, talking about the pilot program, exactly.
Bro, that's crazy to me that they're straight up being like, yo, y'all can still grab it from the plug, but we want to try a program out.
We've seen places overseas that will work with the black market to help the people in general. You know what I'm saying? Like they're known for that.
That's Amsterdam. Amsterdam has been doing that from the jump, and they're hard for that.
So that just creates a different level of, I would say, peace and cooperation from your citizens, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Because they don't feel like you're an op.
Exactly.
A certain amount of the government knowing that there's illegal activities happening and allowing certain ones to happen that benefit them, and then not allowing other ones to happen that work against them in a certain way, or that they can benefit from cracking down on those and taking all that shit, or arresting a certain amount of people from a certain community, black people.
They're better at regulating people making choices.
Just by doing less regulating of people making choices.
Boom. The freedom of allowing them to actually make their own decisions.
It was always the kids who was never allowed to do nothing that ended up being the wildest kids.
Exactly.
You know
and that's how us Americans act. Y'all trying to put constrictions on stuff.
Yeah.
Now we the bad kid.
Vermont has pulled several strains of flower off the shelves of 5 dispensaries in the state due to products testing positive for a banned pesticide. Multiple consumers complained of nausea and headaches after smoking weed produced by Holland Cannabis, and eventually a report was made to the Vermont Cannabis Control Board. Testing of the product found mycobutanil, the active ingredient found in Eagle 20 fungicide, a legal product that is banned from use on cannabis in Vermont and many other states. The owner of the operation denies ever using Eagle 20 or any pesticides. Eagle 20 is damn near as bad as Avid. Like, those are the Eagle 20 and Avid are like Voldemort for growers. Like,
he said Voldemort.
Voldemort. Like, you don't even say that shit. So Eagle 20 is one of the worst ones to get popped for. And the fact that there is no fine or suspension for this is crazy.
You said this is Green River Cannabis?
I'm pretty sure.
Initially fined the business $5,000 for failing to test for pesticides and pathogens and several other violations.
Oh, they did get a fine.
It later reduced the fine to $2,500 when it accepted the owner's plan to remedy the violations.
Okay, so they did get a little fine, but that's a light fine.
Like $2,500 for having Eagle 8 in your stuff is kind of
Eagle 20.
Eagle 20.
Eagle 20 and Avid are chemicals that can really mess up and alter your brain and like body chemistry from like smoking them. It's just really messed up that people will go to that length and risk. Also, you're getting your stuff tested. Like, at what point did you think that wasn't going to get found out?
A control board inspector who visited the business on December 1st could not find any documentation of testing for pesticides or pathogens. People don't have record of it, or they're not doing it.
Or you're getting a certain product tested and swapping it out like they were just doing at that other spot.
It's very possible.
It's going to be really hard to get something passed through that was tested and popped for Eagle 20. Like, that is not going to happen.
Is pyrethrin considered, is that what Eagle 20 is?
Pyrethrin is a chemical that's in it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Pyrethrin.
The pesticide container, they said, was sealed and no pesticide had been used. It's just cap. Like, nobody keeps Eagle 20 in the grow just to have it for looks. I don't have a bottle of Eagle 20 and I'm just like, no, I don't spray it. It's just there.
It's just there.
Like, no. You come in and you catch me with Eagle 20, we can run the fade.
Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe, people. And don't check me, check the back of your ear.